Hi, I'm Artemis. While browsing Reels on Instagram, I came across these Kaijumon minis made by Becca 3D. They're available for purchase, but luckily there's also a free one available. You can find the link to this model in the description below. I'm lucky to have access to a resin printer, as a resin printer can print these highly detailed models. After removing it from the build plate, I started brushing it with some isopropanol before separating the individual pieces. After more washing and soaking in isopropanol, I put the pieces into the curing chamber. After curing, this is what the parts look like. I primed all the individual pieces using a spray primer before I glued them all together. This model consists of many parts, which means I would have to print them in 2 turns. Instead, I chose to print them in 1 turn, utilizing the whole build plate, but that means that the raft for the individual pieces merged together and created one big raft, which is a bit harder to remove. I've used a resin called Durable version 2, which is a resin that remains slightly flexible after curing. That makes it a lot easier to remove all the support material without breaking or damaging small parts on the model. And here's the assembled model. As this Kaijumon is obviously based on Charizard, I chose to paint it in some similar colors, which means that the model consists mainly of 3 colors. All the paints used in this project are from the Army Painter Warpaints Fanatics series. For the belly scales, I used this light skin tone. After covering the whole body with orange, I started filling in the blue on the wings. After basing the whole model, I applied some dark tone wash. After the wash had dried, I started the highlighting process. This model has quite a lot of details to highlight, but then again that kind of makes it more forgiving to work with, as it's easier to see where the natural highlights would be. Instead of painting in the highlights for the wings, I dry brushed them with some turquoise. I find painting the eyes can sometimes be quite difficult, especially when my hands are shaking a little bit. It usually takes me a few tries, but I'm quite happy with the result in the end. A bit of pedicure, and then I started painting the flame on the tail. I waited with painting the fire elements on this mini because I wanted to try a new dry brushing technique. Starting with a really bright yellow, almost white, I based the whole flame before I started dry brushing with yellows, oranges and reds, and topping it all off with just a tiny bit of black. Then I repeated the whole process with the fireball. I used the same technique on the base, just with different colors. Starting with black, I moved through different shades of grey and topped it all off with a bit of white. When the flame's all done, I glued it into the mouth of the Kaijumon. And here's how it turned out. That's it for this video. Be sure to check out Becca 3D on social media and subscribe for more creative projects. Thanks for watching!